High above the Arctic Circle, the Norwegian cold transforms the countryside into a winter wonderland. Its frozen fjords become a friend to young and old alike. And in the shortened hours of winter's light, the children rise early to treasure their natural playground. It's a way of life passed on from generation to generation. This is Oslo, the chief seaport and capital city of Norway. Once a small trading center, today it's a modern yet intimate city on the inner reaches of the Oslo Fjord. Welcome to the Oslo Spectrum for our coverage of professional skating's World Challenge of Champions. Today we'll see the ladies and men compete. Hello everyone, I'm Julie Moran, and this event is very significant because it marks the first time a professional skating competition has ever been held in Norway. It's also the first major skating event to be held in Oslo since the 1952 Winter Olympics. Professional skating competitions have really come into their own, and they've given some of our finest champions a chance to compete beyond the amateur level. Joining me now is national, world, and Olympic champion Peggy Fleming. And Peggy, first we're going to see the ladies' competition, and Denise Bielmann of Switzerland has won this event 3 times, and she's back to defend her title.
Well, Denise has the strongest technical program planned with many of the triple jumps that she did 10 years ago when she won the Worlds. However, she'll get a strong challenge from a renewed Debbie Thomas, who's been training quite seriously for this event. A win here for Debbie would help ease the feelings she will face in August when she plans to retire and start medical school. Then there's Rosalind Sumners, who feels very frustrated with this event. She's participated 6 times and only won once in 1986. Roz may not have the triple jumps the other ladies have, but she feels her scores for artistic impression have been unjustifiably low.
Now, the men's field here is one of the strongest ever. Between them, they share 10 world and Olympic gold medals. Joining me is a man who is our former national champion and 2-time Olympian, John Misha Petkovic. And Misha, Brian Boitano has won this event every year he's entered it. Can anybody really challenge him?
Well, Julie, all of the skaters recognize that Brian Boitano, a great athletic skater and jumper, is virtually impossible to beat technically. In order for Brian Orser, Scott Hamilton, or Robin Cousins to crack Brian's winning streak, they have 2 challenges. The first is to skate at their peak technical levels, even though their programs may not contain as many technical elements as Brian does. Second, and most importantly, is to outperform him artistically. The challenge is set. It must now be met.
And at stake today, the prize money totals almost $100,000, with $40,000 going to the winner. And our first lady to take the ice, 1983 world champion Rosalind Sumner, skating to the theme from Sleeping Beauty. Each skater will be awarded a score based on technical merit and artistic impression by a panel of 7 judges. The high and low scores are thrown out, and the best combined total determines the winner.
Well, Rosalind has a wonderful balanced program planned. A fast part at the beginning and a very lyrical middle section, and fast again at the end. Opening jump she has planned is a double flip jump. Watch the takeoff. Very nice, very smooth landing. Remember, Rosalind does not have a triple jump planned, so this next jump coming up, the double axel, is the toughest jump she'll do. Very nicely done. Nice speed exiting the jump. Sequence coming up. Watch the spiral sequences. First the forward spiral. Beautiful position. And her back spiral. Into a double flip. double lutz, double toe. Oops, she popped that. That will probably cost her in the technical mark. That was supposed to be a double axel, and that will definitely cost her in the technical mark. But she is still such a beautiful skater. Is there a reason that Rosalind has no triples in her program? Well, she has said that, having a triple jump in your program does not make the better skater. She really concentrates on the overall performance. Look at this beautiful layback spin. And your presentation to the audience, I think she really reaches them. She does a beautiful job. She really feels that music. Very nice, but I don't think that was her best program.
And unfortunately, omitting that second double axel and missing the double lutz could weaken her technical composition sufficiently to mean yet another disappointing result for Rosalind.
And we'll be back in a moment to see what the judges thought. Here are the marks for Rosalind Sumner's for technical merit, and they range from 9.5 to 9.7.
And Julie, those marks do indeed reflect the fact that she omitted two important and difficult jumps.
And now for artistic impression, they're a little bit higher. They're all 9.7s and 9.8s.
Well, she achieved her goal by reaching the audience in her performance, but she's obviously disappointed.
And next to skate, two-time United States and 1986 world champion Debbie Thomas. At age 24, Debbie plans to retire from skating in September to attend medical school. Earlier, she spoke to us about the highs and lows of the career she'll soon leave behind.
My favorite is always going to be 86 Nationals because nothing was going right. Going out there and just taking each jump one at a time, getting more and more excited. Wow, where is this coming from? It was just fun for me. For the first time, I wasn't the Debbie Thomas that everyone knew.
I know you can do this. We've been together. Let's make it more competitive. You are the man. You're the best. Slow down the children. It's your moment.
I think beforehand, I really thought I was going to die if I didn't go out and do the performance that I wanted.
Double-footed, the second triple toe.
The first thing didn't work, and just my whole heart sort of went, ugh.
What a sad moment.
I would have been happier with a great performance, regardless of whether I won. But it didn't happen. The main thing is that I've got one sort of portion of my life over with now. I'm going to be doing a lot of the professional skating. I'll be touring full-time with the show Stars on Ice. And I've had a little more time to work on my skating. I finally really feel part of the group. I think it'd be nice maybe a few years down the line to sort of go into a rink with my skates and just skate because it's fun, not because it's my job or because I have a competition or because I have to prepare for a show, but just to really just go in and skate. I think someday to be able to do that could be a lot of fun.
But she is back in competition today trying to win her first Challenge of Champions title.
Debbie's a big fan of Madonna, and she's skating to the music of Back in Business. nice continuous speed in the combination spin. Now coming up is her first triple she has planned, a triple Salchow. Now watch her take off and back inside edge. Up she goes, 3 revolutions, very nicely done, very easy.
And that kind of technical certainty is exactly what she needs to unseat the technically proficient defending champion, Denise Bielman.
Peggy, Debbie seems to be having a lot of fun on the ice. It's nice to see.
Yes, I think she really is. She's practiced a lot, and she's very well prepared for this competition, which is really nice to see. And now coming up is a combination wally, triple toe, double toe. Well, that triple toe had a little problem at the end.
And Debbie still choreographs her own routines as she did as an amateur.
Yes, and I really like this routine. It really shows off Debbie's talent, how she holds her moves out like this layback spin, beautiful arm movement, but then also shows her strength. And it's just very flattering.
I just want to thank you for what you like. Hope that I'm letting you put me back in business. This ain't no business. I'm gonna get my way. You put me back in business. You got the witness that I'm here to stay. You put me
Well, she can feel really good about that performance. Very nice.
You know, she really is a terrific all-around skater. When you watch Debbie, you don't remember her as a meticulous technician or as a groundbreaking artist. You remember the total package. Let's take a look at the first triple jump, the triple Salchow. This is very well executed. Watch how her leg comes around. She's got good height in the air, and it's a nice, smooth landing. However, on this triple toe loop, you can see she doesn't quite get enough height, and her left foot touches down as she lands the jump.
And here are her scores for technical merit. They are all 9.8s and 9.9s.
Well, it doesn't seem that the judges have taken off any points for that missed triple toe loop later on in that program.
And the marks for artistic impression. A 10.
Oh, she has to be very satisfied. She really deserved these marks. It was a well-choreographed routine.
And the rest of the scores, a 9.8 and all 9.9s, good enough to take the lead over Rosalind Sumner's. Oslo Fjord, on the outskirts of the city, is the home of the legendary Sonja Henie. She captured the hearts of her countrymen in her first national figure skating title at the age of 10. 3 years later in Oslo, she won the first of an improbable 10 world championships, and her Olympic feats are to this day unmatched. ABC's Marianne Grabavoy has more.
In many ways, Sonja Henie was kissed by the goddess of fortune. Glamorous, talented, born with a silver spoon in her mouth, practically born with silver skates on her feet. The only daughter of an Oslo fur merchant, Papa Wilhelm Henie and Mama Selma doted on their blonde-haired, blue-eyed little darling. She won her first Olympic gold medal in 1928, second in 32, and an unprecedented third in 1936. Along this celebrated way, she popularized and revolutionized the sport, bringing to the ice ballet, choreography, jumps, spins, and shockingly short skirts. But to Sonja, skating only figured to be a means to an end. "I've an all-consuming desire to become a movie star," she said. She left her native Norway, set out to conquer Hollywood, becoming a box office power in the late 30s, second only to another little darling, Shirley Temple. There was one hit movie after another, one leading man after another, one love affair after another. Van Johnson, Tyrone Power. Michael Kirby was one of Sonia's film skating partners.
I think that her relationship with most men was to use them for whatever she could get out of them. If it was love, that was one thing. If it was power, another thing. Money, another thing. If Sonia wanted it, that's what she used the men for.
Sonia teamed up with Chicago businessman Arthur Wirtz to stage the biggest, grandest ice shows ever. It's said their 16-year relationship netted Sonia a cool $10 million. Her film earnings, nearly $25 million. By all accounts, Sonia Henney loved three things in life: skating, money, and what that money could buy her. As she toured the world, going from trains to planes to ocean liners, she often carried with her a pillow with a hidden compartment. Nestled deep within the pillow's padding were diamonds and emeralds and rubies, jewels valued at over $1 million. They were the crown jewels of the Queen of Ice. As Sonia Henney lay her head on that pillow at night, she didn't count sheep, she counted carrots. World champion skater Aya Zanova knew all about Sonia and her love of the extravagant.
She skated with real diamonds, real emeralds. Whatever jewelry she had on, they were real.
Along with fame and fortune, there was controversy. She became an American citizen at the start of World War II, but because of her friendship with Adolf Hitler, Sonia's loyalties were strongly questioned. In fact, when the Nazis invaded Norway, Sonia saved the family home in a most unusual way.
She was smart enough to call through to the housekeeper and tell her to put the picture of Hitler on the piano in the front foyer of the home. And the picture of Hitler said, "To my darling Sonia, with love, Adolf." They walked into Sonia's house, saw the picture of Hitler, said, "Heil Hitler," turned around and left, never touched the house the rest of the war.
Sonia Henney retired from show business in 1960, and 9 years later, at the age of 57, she died from leukemia. Although she married 3 times, she never had any children, but Sonia's legacy was to the sport she loved, the sport she made into a glamorous business.
And back at the World Challenge of Champions, a lady who's won this event 3 years in a row, Denise Bielmann of Switzerland.
Well, Denise is a very consistent skater and a remarkable athlete. She keeps herself in such good condition. And she has 3 triple jumps planned in this program.
About 20 years ago, way down in New Orleans, a group of fellas found a new kind of music, and they decided to call it.
Very nice double axel, very smooth.
No other sound has what this music has. Before they knew it, it was whizzing round the world. The world was...
Now her first triple she has planned is a triple Lutz, one of the more difficult triple jumps. Watch her preparation from a back edge, and she'll tap her toe in. 3 revolutions. Oh, she kind of double-footed that.
You know, in spite of the fact that she's in great condition and is arguably the most technically proficient lady, her program lacks luster. And to retain her title, she can't even have minor imperfections like that.
Oh, baby, won't you play me the jazz hot, baby, and don't ever let it end. I tell your friend it's really something.
Peggy, one thing that I don't see in Denise is the facial expressions, the interpretation that I saw, for example, in Debbie Araz.
Well, she doesn't have the charisma with the audience as some of the other performers, but she does some things that, some elements in her program that not a lot of other people do. So she has some special moments.
Jazz hot, Maybe what's holding my soul together.
Now coming up is her third triple jump. She has planned a triple Salchow. Back inside edge takeoff. Oh, two-footed that landing also.
So come on in and play me the jazz hop, baby, 'cause I love my
Double flip, double loop combination. And now coming up is her very famous spin, her Spielman spin. And here she goes into her camera where she grabs one leg. Watch that extension. Now you're in for a treat. Watch this. Well, that was not one of her stronger performances.
We'll be back with her scores after this.
Handed it cleanly, she would have beaten Debbie Thomas on the technical scores. However, Debbie should have the edge artistically.
And the scores for artistic impression, Denise just received a 10, but she also has several 9-7. And those scores are not going to be good enough to win this championship. Debbie Thomas wins this title for the first time by 0.4 of a point. And Peggy Fleming is down now with a very happy Debbie Thomas.
Congratulations, Debbie. What has it been this year that has really inspired your skating?
It's probably because this is my last chance to really show people how well I can actually skate. And I think maybe that's sort of inspiration to end on a good note. And having 2 wins in this competition and the one before, I think it's really making me feel good.
Well, we're glad that you entered these. You did a terrific job.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
And when we return with the World Challenge of Champions, the competition continues with Scott Hamilton, Brian Orser, and Brian Boitano as the men for over half the western portion of the Scandinavian peninsula of Norway. Its capital city of Oslo has a population of less than 500,000. It seems they all come out to play in the winter months. It can be a family outing, or life on ice can also be a solitary yet satisfying experience. Especially the fisher biting. Welcome back to the Oslo Spectrum in Norway for our continuing coverage of professional skating's World Challenge of Champions. Hello, everyone. I'm Julie Moran, along with Peggy Fleming and John Misha Petkovich. Earlier today in the ladies' competition, Debbie Thomas seemed to be a renewed skater as she upset reigning champion Denise Spielman. And Peggy, did that surprise you at all?
Well, it didn't really. Debbie has given that extra effort to her skating this year. Denise had trouble on the landing of a triple Salchow, and Debbie with the landing of a triple toe. They both did the same number of triples. The victory was given to the quality of skating and the well-choreographed program. And I'm really happy for Debbie.
Well, as we said earlier, we have a terrific men's field here in Oslo, headlined by 1988 Olympic gold medalist Brian Boitano, who has won this event every time he's entered it. Is he invincible, Misha?
Well, Julie, no one's invincible. However, Brian's competitors can overtake him only by executing each technical element perfectly and performing a complete and captivating artistic program. Brian Orser, a longtime rival of Brian's, must convey the driving passion of his Latin program. Scott Hamilton, the consummate entertainer, must enrapture the audience with his ballad Georgia. And Robin Cousins, always a potential challenger, must give flight to his artistic breath. In a competition of the very best, the outcome is never certain.
About to take the ice, the very best in the world, Brian Boitano, undefeated as a professional with 8 victories. And at stake today, the prize money totals almost $100,000, with $40,000 going to the winner.
Brian is a superb technician. Strong and high jumps, powerful edges and stroking. In fact, in his program, he plans 5 triple jumps. These are all part of the total performance.
This is the first program that Brian has choreographed in 5 years, and he's skating to his favorite, Luciano Pavarotti, the interpretation of the aria, "No One Shall Sleep Until She's Mine."
And this is a jump. It's my favorite, a triple Lutz with his hand over his head, adding style to something that's already very, very difficult.
Triple Salchow. Look at how easy that was. Picking up speed in preparation for the most difficult triple jump, a triple axel. Look at that! Watch how this triple toe loop just blends right into the program. It's just part of it. Seamless. Beautiful. Invincible he may be.
Olympic gold medalist Brian Boitano skating exquisitely to the first program he's choreographed in 5 years. Quite a treat.
Well, I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to be a judge. First skater and a compelling and perfect performance. The question of the moment has to be, will the judges leave room for the rest of the field?
And we will be back with those scores in a moment. Boitano scores for technical merit, starting out with a 10, another 10.
Well, it certainly seems to me, Julie, that the judges, in fact, have committed, at least in technical merit, to give Brian Boitano the #1 position.
And they are all 10.
And let's take a look at that Boitano triple Lutz. Look at the height. He is so straight, and that is such an easy jump for him. And here's the triple axel. Oh, magnificent rotation, just perfectly landed, followed by a double toe loop.
And here are his scores for artistic impressions, starting with a 9-9, another 10, a 9-8, a 9-9. With the perfect technical and the nearly perfect artistic scores, it's going to be very difficult for anyone to beat him. Brian arguably is the best skater in the world today and would like to compete in the upcoming Olympics, but he cannot under the current rules. ABC's Marianne Grabavoy has more.
Michael can. Carl Lewis can and will. Martina could. But Boitano can and would love to. Just who's in and who's out of the Olympic Games. It's been just about 4 years since the Calgary Winter Olympics, and with the 92 games just around the corner, the one thing that Brian Boitano would love to do is go for his second gold medal. He's now 28 years old, and most people would agree that not only is Brian better than he was in Calgary, he's now at his artistic and technical peak. But much to his dismay, skating in Albertville is the one thing that Brian Boitano cannot do. The Olympics used to showcase the world's best amateur athletes, but the big story in '91 was the naming of the Dream Team, the first professional Olympic basketball team. So if Michael Jordan can compete, why can't Brian Boitano? The reason is there isn't just one Olympic eligibility rule. Instead, eligibility differs from sport to sport, thus the confusion and the controversy. These are some of the sports that allow professionals to compete. No questions asked how much the athletes put in their bank accounts each year. On the other hand, boxing is purely amateur, as is baseball. And what about figure skating? Well, it's somewhere in between.
What is the difference between myself and Michael Jordan on the basketball team? I think that if they are truly wanting the best of the best, if they really want every type of person to be involved in the Olympics that is supposed to be at least a group of the best, I think they have to include professionals.
In 1990, the International Skating Union and the United States Figure Skating Association relaxed most of their rules, allowing the skaters to market themselves, compete, and perform for prize money in sanctioned events. Become what basically is a pro, yet still retain their Olympic eligibility. However, before that rule change, Brian Boitano participated in professional events not sanctioned by the ISU. The ISU refused to make the policy change retroactive and now say Brian is ineligible.
People told me that I could sue the association, to get back in because they really felt like I had ground to stand on. They felt like I could sue and win, but in a subjective sport, it's not the smartest thing to do.
Even the president of the U.S. Figure Skating Association says Brian has been caught in a tough position.
To have a circumstance in which you are once and for all time prohibited from regaining eligible status, to me is unfair.
Boitano hasn't given up. He still hopes they'll make the rule change retroactive in time for the 1994 Olympic Games. If they do, Brian says he'll be ready.
If they do reverse the ruling, Brian will be 30 at the '94 Olympics. And on the ice, 1980 Olympic champion from Great Britain, Robin Cousins.
The thing to watch here is his fluidity, strong edges, and expansive style. Since he has no triples planned in this program, he's going to have to rely on those strengths in order to compete effectively against Brian Boitano.
Going both directions is very difficult to do.
Now you immediately see that fluidity and that openness here as he enters his first double axel.
Robin's parents are in the arena today, and it just happens to be his mother's birthday.
Now watch his camel spin. He's spinning on the right leg in the opposite direction to the way he usually spins in jumps. And that's very difficult for skaters because they train in one direction to get used to spinning that way so they don't get dizzy. Coming up is Robin Cousins' double Lutz. Remember that Brian Boitano did a perfect triple, so this double has to be perfect. And he's leaning a little bit, and even bobbles a little bit there. He cannot have that kind of minor imperfection if he's going to beat Brian.
Trademark move, a big open axle, and watch his arm go over his head.
His legs apart, it's terrific. Backflip. Final spin, a death drop into a back sit spin, and watch this very fast back scratch spin to end the program. Well, that was a very good performance, but it would have taken the performance of his life to beat Brian Boitano, and that was not it.
But the crowd always enjoying the dynamic Robin Cousins. We'll be back with his scores. Bislett Stadium in Oslo. More world records in track and field have been set here than in any other arena in the world.
At the record, it's Graham lifting, Coe fading. Gonzalez in second and Graham closing on the record. And he's done it.
A stadium of legendary proportion. The stuff that dreams are made of, where Brian Orser, Brian Boitano, and Robin Cousins left the ice for a little friendly competition. But only in their dreams would they have ever crossed this finish line, unless they'd been here 40 years ago.
We let you in.
That's when the 1952 Winter Olympic Games were held on Bislett's flooded infield. American Dick Button won the second of 2 gold medals, landing the first triple jump ever performed in Olympic competition. And here is Dick Button, the creator of the World Challenge of Champions. On the ice is Brian Orser, silver medalist at the 1988 Olympics. Robin Cousins' scores ranged from 9-7 to 9-8, and he is well behind our leader, Brian Boitano.
And with less than a strong showing by Robin Cousins, Brian Orser is once again in a position to be chasing his rival and friend, Brian Boitano.
Skating to the soundtrack of the movie Havana.
And Brian's first jump is a double axel. Remember that Brian Boitano did a triple axel in his program. Here it is. Well, that's as clean as they are.
Misha, technically, how does Brian Orser compare with Brian Boitano?
Well, Brian Orser only has planned 3 triple jumps in this program, and he is a good jumper when he's on. In addition, he's a superb spinner. Watch this triple Lutz. No, he elected to do a double Lutz. Now, you have to remember, he's being judged against Brian Boitano, who executed 5 triple jumps successfully.
Now the next move coming up is a variation on an axel. Watch the exit. Very expressive, very much to the music, and shows nice control.
And the ladies in the audience are loving this.
Watch his footwork. This is one of Brian's strengths. Intricate footwork. Very important component of technical merit. Crucial triple Salchow. Very well. He put his foot down a little bit at the end. Well, a very good performance, but somewhat tentative.
And I don't think technically he's really caught up with Brian Boitano, but, you know, he's such a comfortable performer.
You know, he left out that triple Lutz and did only 2 triple jumps compared to Brian Boitano's 5 triples. But on the other hand, he did some wonderful things. For example, this delayed axel with the tucked leg in the air and the unusual ending. Very good.
And the scores for technical merit, mostly 9/8 to 9/9. And the scores for artistic impression, mostly 9/9s, and that is very close artistically to Brian Boitano. A very solid performance, putting him in 2nd place. Coming up next, Scott Hamilton, who told us he's scared to death of this competition. We'll tell you why when we come back. Time world and Olympic champion Scott Hamilton. Prior to arriving here in Oslo, Scott was back in Aspen, Colorado, working in his new role as show producer for the Stars on Ice Tour, which brings together many of the skaters in today's competition. For Scott, the challenge is to break new ground with old friends. And for all of these pros, the demands of their careers leave precious little time for practice. The return to competition can be hazardous to their health. Remember Moscow, 1989?
In Moscow, I had the worst competition of my life. Not only did I miss things, I mean, it was physically painful. I mean, it really hurt. I swore I'd never come back, but I'm glad I did, because now I have an opportunity to kind of write something, and if I can calm down and do a nice performance and not sweat it too much. It's like when you're learning how to play basketball, you know, you usually learn from your dad, and he says, always make the last shot. Always make the last shot. Never leave the ice before you hit the last jump.
And now it's Scott's chance to make the last shot, as he is our final competitor today.
And in order for Scott to overtake Brian Boitano, he must skate a perfect program technically and enrapture the judges and the audience. It's Scott's chance to rewrite his history at this event.
Martin's version of Georgia.
He's preparing for a single axel, a simple jump, but look how well he executes this. You know, he reminds me very much of David Jenkins, who won the gold medal at the Olympics in 1960. Scott won it, first American, 24 years later. Now he's preparing for a triple Lutz. He has not landed this jump at this competition since 1986. Here it is. Oh, he pulled out right in the middle. I don't know what happened to his concentration. How disappointing that must be to him. Preparing for a triple toe loop. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. That's the Scott Hamilton we're used to seeing.
Oh, that was a nice move. That flip, and that nice exit position. Me a little homesick, Misha. I'm from Georgia.
Well, I'll tell you, Julie, I think he picked this music just for you.
I'm sure he did.
Now watch these double axles. He's going to do 4 in a row. Second one. Those are just perfect technically. And number 4, fantastic. And of course, coming up, the crowd favorite after a little slip. But watch his back flip. Right in there. You know, he's really got guts to come back here and compete again after the Moscow experience. I don't think he rewrote history quite as completely as he would have liked to, but his return certainly shows his true character.
And we'll be back with his scores in a moment. Scott Hamilton in technical merit, mostly 9.8s and 9.9s, very solid.
And had he landed the triple Lutz, he probably would have had even better marks. And let's take a look at that triple Lutz attempt again. His toe is too close as he takes off. He doesn't get the height and chooses in the middle of the jump not to execute the 3 revolutions.
And marks in artistic impression a little lower. They range from 9.7 to 9.9. And that puts Scott Hamilton in 3rd place behind Brian Boitano and Brian Orser. Robin Cousins finishes 4th. And John Misha Petkovich is with our winner, Brian Boitano.
You've never lost a professional championship before, and this is your 4th victory at the Challenge of Champions. Congratulations.
Thanks, Misha. I felt better this year, actually, than any other year. I felt like I was prepared and I liked the program, and I really nailed it. It's one of those feelings where you feel you go out and you did everything. You don't feel that you could have done anything better, and that's sort of how I felt when I finished the competition tonight.
Well, it was really terrific. I watched you all week in practice, and you didn't have quite the intensity, but tonight you came out and it was incredible intensity. What happened?
I'm a totally different person when I compete. That's what happened. I think that I really get into what my body's doing and my work at hand, and I try to block everything else out. And sometimes in practice I don't do that. I do it more for the stamina and the running of the program. But when it's competition time, I'm all serious and all joking aside.
Terrific. Congratulations.
Thanks, Mish.
So Brian Boitano remains undefeated as a professional with his 9th straight victory and his 4th consecutive win here at the World Challenge of Champions. And Debbie Thomas winding down her skating career with her first victory in this event.
And there is much more to come from the World Challenge of Champions. In upcoming shows, you'll see the ice dance and pairs competition featuring 4-time world and Olympic gold medalists Gordieva and Grinkov. Plus, we'll have some very special exhibition performances. For Peggy Fleming and John Misha Petkovich, I'm Julie Moran. Goodbye from Oslo.
We hope you've enjoyed our day. Wide World